Welcome back to Caffeine Confessionals. Are you excited for the challenge season 37, Spies, Lies, and Allies? Well, if you are, today's your lucky day as I will be breaking down the 90-second trailer that MTV just posted for their newest season, scene for scene. Now, I will not be posting the full trailer itself within this video with the audio because the last time I did so, Viacom took down the video and I want to keep this YouTube channel. It also must be noted that anything I can see with my eyes in this video and can break down with general common sense is not a spoiler. Everything is free game that I can see. There will be some Easter eggs and references thrown in here or there. And now let's get into the breakdown itself. The trailer opens with a bit of Rampage, initially showing the coordinates of Croatia to tell you that this is where the season is going to be taking place. Right after that, they show some action scenes of some daily challenges. We see Nelson peeking his head out through a sunroof of a car as a helicopter flies up above. I'm going to be frank in saying that I have no clue what Nelson is doing in this daily challenge, but then they threw a smokescreen at you of another car challenge where players are lying horizontally off the roof of a car as the car drives erratically. You can see in the background there is a toxic waste type truck with a bunch of logos on it. I assume the players have to memorize those logos while the car is just driving crazily. Then we see Festi and Nigerian rookie Esther Agumbiade sprinting towards a finish line as an explosion happens behind them. Aesthetically, there is a very similar looking daily challenge on Total Madness. We then have TJ welcome us to the challenge. Spies, Lies, and Allies, a name I will never get used to, and I just know whoever made that name felt so clever. I wonder if TJ is going to be the host this season or if he's going to be a handler again. They proceed to give us some action shots. First off, we have a male player competing in a hall brawl, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm starting to get tired of hall brawl after how much they used it on double agents. Maybe give it a 1 to 2 season break. Then we see CT holding on to a speedboat as he gets dragged across the water. We see America's British sweetheart Big T terrified for some reason. Then they pan out and there is a fake airplane being dunked into water. They had a fake airplane turbulence simulator on War of the Worlds 1 where players had to solve a puzzle as the plane experienced turbulence. This could be something similar. We then see a group of players with shocked faces. You can see Amanda Garcia, Nani Gonzalez, Ashley Mitchell, Michelle Fitzpatrick, Michaela Bradshaw, along with some others. They are all wearing the clothes they have in their cast pictures, and because of that, I think this is the first night where they're learning that in the morning they're going to have a daily challenge. After this, the trailer fills us in that the cast will consist of 17 United States players and 17 international players, and then goes on to feature some of the more prominent US cast members. We first see Nelson, and I'm getting total Top Gun vibes. He looks like an Air Force captain with his shades, the bald eagle, American flag patches. Really good look for him. Then we see Ashley Mitchell, who has gloves on, and it looks like she's preparing to go into an elimination. She looks hyped up, ready to go. And then Corey Warden, who is excited to compete. These three people were crucial to the invasion generation of the show, and without Cara Maria, Bananas, or Wes here, they are stepping up to the plate. Of course, after showing off 3 US players, they proceed to show off 3 international players, and they kick us off with a known international face, Kyle Christie, and what's so funny is that Kyle will 1000% be aligning with the US players regardless of anything. Then they show us new rookie from Survivor Turkey, Berna Kandelbek. According to people who watch the show, Berna is a solid competitor, and she was even on the same Survivor Turkey All-Star season that Turbo was on. Then they show us another known international commodity in Big T. As this is all going on, there is very generic commentary from people like Corey, CT, and Tori trying to hype up the new prospects. Oh, they look strong, they're lethal, they know how the political game works. In reality, they aren't going to say they're weak, they want to hype up the season. We get a look of what seems to be all the players walking into the elimination arena, and what is key is that both the men and women are dressed to go into elimination. That is very important to note because that means we will... Next, we kind of have a spoiler warning. If you don't want to know this information, just skip a minute ahead in the video and I think you'll be fine. So as MTV is trying to showcase some of the prospect / rookie strength on this season, they show Kyle jumping on top of 2 players who are wrestling in a mud pit. You can see that the player that Kyle is jumping on has a helmet with the name Ed on it. But when MTV announced the official cast with the pictures, there is no Ed. So who is that? Well, the answer is that is Ed Eason from season 1 of The Circle United States on Netflix. When casting rumors originally leaked, Ed was listed as an alternate for the season, so that means either a player quit, DQ'd, got sick, or got injured. We are not going to speculate who that player is, but we know that Ed will come into the game at some point. Moving back into your regularly broadcasted trailer breakdown, Kyle says that we have Team Germany, and they show Namvo looking swole as all hell carrying a sledgehammer. He says we have Team Romania, and it shows Emmy Elupe looking very devilish as she's going to go into a headbanger elimination. And how can I tell that? It's because she has the pads on for a hall brawl or a pole wrestle. He says we have Team Nigeria, and we see Esther once again putting in some work in a daily challenge, pulling in a rope, and in the background you can see a player climbing a wall behind her. Then they show us a panned out image of what looks like a bunch of the international prospects, and I'm guessing that this is going to be the first daily challenge of the season. What is funny is that Kyle says that if all those international players band together, they will be really strong. And it's funny because he includes himself on the American side, even though MTV is touting him as international. To end this portion, they show Ashley Mitchell out of breath and drenched in water after a daily challenge to show that the US players may be weak compared to the internationals. In reality, Ashley may have just killed the daily challenge and is just normally exhausted like a regular person, but to build the drama, they're trying to show the contrast. We then see Namvo talking to rookie pumped Gabbo, saying that this game is like Russian roulette. MTV then drops a graphic saying that this season will premiere August 11th, 3.5 weeks away. It's right around the corner. The trailer proceeds to ramp up a ton. We see German rookie Tracy Candela spinning as her body is attached to a structure. It reminds me of the elimination that Cam faced Paulie in on War of the Worlds 1. We see Corey standing on the waterfront next to some cinder blocks. There are some chains. It looks like he's trying to unravel. As he's doing so, a snake crawls up on him and scares him. We hear a Nelson soundbite saying, "Oh my god," and things begin to steam up. Casey and Nani go for a kiss with one another. They have always had chemistry dating back to Total Madness. I am glad they are finally acting on their feelings. We see Fessy kissing what I and most people believe to be Amanda Garcia. It is a monumental kiss as Fessy breaks up his streak of only hooking up with blonde women. This is a bit of a full circle moment, as back when Fessy filmed Big Brother 20, Amanda live tweeted that she thought he was attractive. We then hear a big pop off, not from Amanda, but from Corey, Devin, and CT popping a champagne cork to embrace the new house. Rookies Corey Lane and Michaela Bradshaw are there as well, and this is night one in the house because again, they are wearing the same outfits they have in their cast photos. The trailer switches over from drama to gameplay and strategy. Ashley says in a soundbite, all the vets are in a super alliance, and then it pans in on CT, herself, Amanda Garcia, Nelson Thomas. I'm guessing MTV bringing in all these rookies is forcing the veterans to stick together even more than they usually do. We see Big T telling Nelson that she doesn't want to be used as a pawn, and Nelson looks like he just doesn't know how to react to the situation. As you could tell from her week of power and double agents, Big T likes to play the game, so to be just a number in a bigger system is probably frustrating for her. The trailer switches over from this veteran alliance over to featuring the rookie players again. We see a large group of players sprinting in a daily challenge, followed up by Romanian rookie Emmanuel Niagu carrying a large block-like item that reminds me of what they would use for a 3D puzzle, and because there are chains around his arm, I believe that this is what Corey was trying to unhook. Polish rookie Pumped Gabbo looks to be exhausted while covered in mud, cleaning up after a daily challenge. You can see Josh Martinez next to him, and then we see Nigerian rookie Tacha Akide just looking fabulous. The trailer proceeds to rev up a ton. We see rookie Berna with a bloodied face in the elimination arena, and it's important to note that on her original Survivor show in Turkey, she had one of the most brutal injuries in that show's history as well. We see Anissa getting medical help. Her arm is in a sling. Then we get some drama. Nelson curses out Fessy, saying that don't get it twisted, what you did last season was BS, bro. Rookie Emmy Elupe looks exhausted and frustrated after a daily challenge and is cursing someone out, telling them to shut the F up. And then we see a separate house incident where Ashley Mitchell is in her bed crying. After the drama, they show us some action shots. We see a helicopter flying over some cars. Then we see Corey smashing some concrete. They follow this up with a player diving under a net for what is an obstacle course type challenge. Nani is diving into a mud pit, trying to wrestle another player. And then we see Emi Elupe jumping from a metal beam onto another moving metal beam. And they had a similar daily challenge to this on the Challenge All-Stars. I know it is Emi because I can see 3 letters on the helmet and the Romanian flag on her short. They are seeming to feature this mud pit challenge a lot. They show Corey, who's covered in mud after the daily challenge, asking a player like, hey man, what did you think this was? This is the challenge. This isn't patty cake. And then they showed Josh Martinez, who is also covered in mud, looking disheveled. I don't think Corey is telling that to Josh because Josh is like a 5-season veteran, and if you get into a fight with Josh, he's just going to have some loud, incoherent babbling type noise in response. Hilariously though, we then get an action shot of Kyle tackling Josh in the mud pit, and you can see CT on the side as well. My favorite part of the entire trailer happens next. Nelson, in a heights challenge, yells at someone, hey man, just go, the worst thing that could happen to you is that you die. And it just made me laugh because that's the most Nelson thing you could say. Nelson loves being on the challenge so much that safety is just a secondary factor to him. Hilariously, MTV then shows someone plummeting to their death in the same challenge that Emi was taking on just before in the trailer. Nearing the end of the trailer, we get a bunch of action shots. We see a player underwater holding a propulsion device. I don't really have a past reference point for this daily challenge, as when players normally go underwater, they are swimming, not holding on to something. My assumption is that maybe the player is memorizing some colors or some patterns they have under the water, and then they're going to do a puzzle type challenge. Something I do have a reference to is then we see players holding on to some panels as it is moving sideways a bit. This reminds me of a slippery slope daily challenge where players had to hold on to a rope as a panel moved backwards and forward. Corey and Nelson won this on the male side. Camilla basically choked herself out to win on the female side. This competition reminds me of the Survivor endurance comps with some challenge flair added in. Based on this trailer, we're getting a lot of water and swimming based challenges. We see players on jet skis. We see players jumping off a cliff to dive in some water. One player gets a really bad jump based on that photo. We see Devin as one of the players who's jumping off the cliff, so we know he makes it to at least that daily challenge in the season. The last couple action shots are UK rookie Huey running in a daily challenge and fire happens behind him. And then we see a bunch of females watching an elimination. Big T looks focused, Tori Deal looks worried, and Amanda Garcia looks completely unimpressed and does not care about what's going on. And the big surprise at the end of the trailer is that Amber Berzotra, the winner of Double Agents, will be on this season. She was originally supposed to be an alternate, and that leads to 2 responses to her surprise show up in this trailer. First being, why was the champion from last season an alternate? The second being, she's not that big of a surprise. She won last season. She's kind of wallpaper. Not a good surprise. And that's your Season 37 trailer. I know a lot of people are not too excited for this season because of how many rookies there are. But I go back to past seasons that had half rookies. Fresh Meat 1, Fresh Meat 2, and War of the Rules 1, I consider all those seasons to be at the very least good. 2 out of 3 I'd put in the top 10, and one of them even in the top 5. Not going to reveal which is which, but I think they're very good seasons, and so that makes me optimistic about Spies, Lies, and Allies. Before we end this video, some important things to note is that the player who is featured the most is Nelson Thomas, and that is big because he was an early exit on Double Agents. He is very entertaining, good competitor, very funny, always glad to see Nelson. The female competitor that is featured the most is Ashley Mitchell. She had short runs on her last 2 seasons, so I'm glad we get a lot of Ashley featuring because she knows how to stir the pot, and she obviously knows how to compete as a 2-time challenge champion. Other players featured a lot are Corey Warden, Amanda Garcia, Berna Kandelbeck, CT, Emi Elupe, Kyle Christie, Big T, and Nani Gonzalez. As someone who has broken down a lot of trailers, obviously when people are being featured a lot, you know they're going to be in the season a decent amount. But I do want to say, Wes wasn't in much of the War of the Worlds 1 trailers, and he was probably the biggest star of that season. Thank you everyone who watched this video. I apologize for the delay on when this came out. My computer's been going through some issues, my mic has been going through some issues. I'm glad I was just able to get it out to you. Have a great day. Subscribe to the channel, drop a like, comment, whatever. Have a great day.